Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into a character who really flips the script on villainy. We're talking about Tarakudo, the king of the Shadowkhan and lord of all Oni. We're pulling our info straight from the Jackie Chan Adventures wiki, so you get the full picture, the deep scoop on this guy.
Absolutely. And our goal here really is to dig into what makes Tarakudo so surprising. It's
Yeah.
not just about who he is, but why he's such a standout antagonist in animation. We're looking for those aha moments.
Okay, let's get started. So Tarakudo, main bad guy for season 4 of Jackie Chan Adventures. King of the Shadowkhan, Lord of the Oni, his big plan, get his Oni generals back. They were sealed in these Oni masks ages ago. It sounds pretty standard evil plot, right?
Well, yeah, but what's interesting is his initial attitude. The wiki points out he wasn't really bothered by Jackie Chan or the others at first. It was only because they kept getting in his way that he eventually saw them as enemies.
That's such a cool detail. Like, he wasn't just instantly obsessed with the heroes.
Exactly. It makes him feel a bit more, I don't know, reactive. Less like a generic, I must destroy the hero type.
Yeah.
It adds a layer.
For sure. And that uniqueness, it totally extends to how he looks. His main appearance, that first one everyone remembers.
Oh, yeah, the giant floating head.
Right. This big, brownish-orange, ghostly head, greenish-yellow eyes, huge white beard, kind of wild eyebrows and mustache.
Yeah.
And those black marks near his mouth and eyes. Super distinct.
And then later, he gets his full body back, which is a whole thing in the story. He's got this red and black shirt,
yeah.
gray belt, baggy black pants, black cuffs. Seeing him go from just a head to a full physical form really signals, his power level increasing.
But the personality, that's where it gets really interesting, I think. I mean, okay, he's definitely evil, wants to plunge the world into eternal darkness, all that stuff. Yet he's funny, like genuinely witty, makes puns, banters. The wiki calls him one of the most lighthearted villains.
And what really blows my mind is how he treats his minions. The Dark Hand thugs. Most villains would, zap them for the smallest mistake. But Tarakudo, he forgives them pretty quick.
Yeah.
They seem genuinely loyal, too, calling him Boss Man, Master Tarakudo. And he actually seems to like it. He compliments his generals, even seemed worried about Ikazuki that one time he got stuck on fins.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Ah, yeah.
It's just this almost joking relationship. Like, he's running an evil corporation, but, with better HR than most villains.
It's wild. And he's polite. Even to Jackie, he calls him Mr. Chan.
Right, not just Chan, like everyone else.
And he uses the enforcers' first names. Finn, Ratsum, Cho.
So the big question is why? Why is he so different? The source material suggests he wasn't really into revenge. He was just focused on getting those masks, finding his generals. If the Chans hadn't interfered so much.
He might have just ignored them.
Pretty much, yeah. Or at least dealt with them later.
Okay.
But they kept messing things up for him, so his patience wore thin. Even then, his punishments like locking the Dark Hand in fake coffins or having Chow's shadow eaten, they weren't as extreme as, say, Shendu's.
He admits he's a sore loser, though.
Yeah, but his attacks often seem non-lethal. It's this weird mix, this paradox of polite evil. It really defines him.
Okay, so to really get Tarakudo, we got to look at his history. Way back, feudal Japan. He and his 9 Oni generals were basically running the show, supreme rulers. But then, boom, generals get sealed in the Oni masks. Tarakudo hides his mask in the Shadow Realm. Smart move. Then he kind of vanishes for centuries.
Right, until season 4, Dailon Wong, the sorcerer, wakes him up. The wiki implies it's tied to Wong being weakened at the time. Tarakudo then busts the enforcers out of jail, classic villain move, but leaves Wong behind. Apparently didn't appreciate being undermined.
Ouch.
So his season 4 mission is crystal clear. Find the mask, slap him on some hosts, get enough Shadowcan to cover the earth in darkness.
And the Chans trying to stop him actually kind of help him by accident.
Yep. They gather all 9 masks in one spot, section 13, which leads to the masks breaking, freeing the original Oni generals.
Oh, man. So Section 13 gets overrun.
Pretty much. And hilariously, it gets filled with the smell of onions, Tarakudo's big weakness. He couldn't even go in at first. But then the generals get to work, expanding that cloak of darkness just like he planned.
Okay, powers. As King of Oni and Master of Shadowkhan, he's got to be loaded.
Oh, yeah. He can use any Oni power, summon any Shadowkhan type. As the floating head, his main thing is that powerful telekinesis. Always comes with that sonic boom sound effect. Strong enough to lift big stuff, summon the enforcers from afar.
But not stronger than the Rooster Talisman, right?
Correct. Potent, but not unbeatable. And he's got other tricks. Shape-shifting is a big one. He can become anyone, anything. He even turned himself into an Oni mask once to trick the enforcers into finding another one. He's mostly intangible as a head. Can phase through walls, meld with objects for travel, even use things with faces to spy. And when he gets his body back, super strong, skilled fighter, actually beat Jackie one-on-one.
Which is impressive. But then the weaknesses, this is where it gets kind of funny again.
Right. For all that power, onions.
Onions. A pure Oni, terrified of onions. They make his eyes water, cause pain. He actually runs away from battles because of them.
It's such a great, almost grounding weakness.
Yeah.
Makes this cosmic threat feel weirdly vulnerable.
Yeah.
Classic Jackie Chan adventures humor.
Totally.
And the other key thing for beating him was needing the hair of a samurai. That was the ingredient to give him a physical form so his mask could be put on him. And the mask itself, if someone else wears it, they control everything, including Tarakudo. But they risk going totally nuts and evil permanently. High stakes.
Now, his view on humans is interesting, too. He seems to think they have some use, at least for now, especially Jade Chan. He keeps thinking she'll go back to being the queen of the Shadowcon.
Yeah, he has this weird expectation for her. He even joked about her Halloween costume, remember? Like it was her returning to her Duer roots.
But he also doesn't mind putting her in danger. It's like he assumes she'll either survive because she's destined to be queen or, well, she's served her purpose.
It's a very pragmatic kind of evil almost.
Yeah.
And he seems to have that magical link, to anyone who wears his mark. His interest in Jade feels long-term, like he's playing the really long game with her.
Until the final showdown, that is, which was pretty epic. They used Toru's hair because he's a samurai descendant.
Right, to give Tarakudo that physical body.
And then Jade just slaps the mask right onto his face. And poof, sucks in Tarakudo, all the generals, all the Shadowcon, game over.
And a cool bit of trivia from the wiki. He's the only main antagonist who's only in one season, though his mark shows up earlier. Also, kind of weirdly, he never actually gets a clear win against the Chans in any single episode during his season.
Huh. For someone so powerful, that's unexpected. Maybe being kind of nice to his minions wasn't the best strategy for world domination.
Maybe. It does make you wonder.
So, wrapping this up for you, our listener, Tarakudo, what a character, right? Super evil, wants eternal darkness, but he's also weirdly charming, polite, even funny.
He shows genuine care for his team, which is rare, and he's this master of shadows.
Yeah.
Defeated by an onion.
He's just a bundle of contradictions.
Absolutely. And his story really shows off that great mix of action, humor, and surprisingly deep character work that Jackie Chan Adventures did so well. It's a good reminder,
Yeah.
that even the biggest bad guys can have these really odd quirks and complexities.
Yeah, this deep dive definitely shows there's more to Tarakudo than meets the eye or the floating head. He really defies expectations.
Which kind of makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
In this world absolutely saturated with information and characters, how many other figures, maybe ones who dismiss as simple or one note, actually have hidden depths or surprising contradictions if we just, look a little closer? Something to chew on. Keep exploring.